They installed it on a Mitsubishi
SUV.
Yeah, the SUV. And it had to be closer to the door of the passenger.
Yeah.
So already without a passenger, you have to stretch.
Yeah.
Then with a passenger, it'll be a bit weird.
Yeah.
Right.
I can foresee a lot of molest cases like suddenly being reported where a driver has to reach over to a passenger's legs to get
over and over again. Over and over again.
Yeah, inevitably.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Yala, your thrice weekly podcast where we talk about hottest news with a touch of what, Terrence?
Good old humor.
Good old humor, man.
Yes.
How's the week been, man?
Had a good Labor Day. I think everyone rested this May Day. Got burnt under the scorching heat. Yeah. I mean, I went out to like the beach and everything.
Oh, is it?
So I really got like burnt.
But the beach was crowded, lah.
Yeah, it was crowded.
Yeah.
But it was just the decision to go under the unrelenting sun during this period might not have been the wisest.
So you regret it?
No lah, you don't regret it.
No lah, it's still fun.
It's the reality of what we live in today, lah, right? I don't think there will ever be a nice day in Singapore weather, lah, right? There'll always be something a bit off, lah. And
you mean even when we go to winter?
When we go to winter?
Yeah, in Singapore, lah.
When we have winter one day?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, then we'll see, lah. Even have spring would be nice, lah. Springish kind of weather.
Because at how hot it is now, I'm guessing that the end of the year will probably be colder than last year also.
Don't know, man. That's
so after repeated cycles.
Hopefully.
And I think we're going to start seeing more like life hacks, how to stay cool.
Yeah.
More people, maybe even starting companies that have like things that help you keep cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I think like there are a lot of little gadgets that people are creating, like something you can hang on your shirt that provides like airflow and everything.
Oh yeah.
I believe Sony is working on something like that.
Yeah. It's interesting. And I mean, the one thing about Labor Day that is nice is because it's a holiday, it's not tied to any festival or something, right?
Yeah.
Generally, everybody is just chilling.
True. Yeah, everyone's just chilling.
Everybody's just
you
chilling.
You also were chilling?
What did I do? I just, chilling, did some IKEA assembly. And errands. So wouldn't say chilling, but like, I mean, I like IKEA assembly.
Home labor. Home labor.
Home labor, correct. Home labor on Labor Day. Correct.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, on Labor Day, we also released our last podcast episode.
Yes.
The interview with Hanan, Palestinian living in West Bank, and the reactions.
Yeah, reactions.
On YouTube and Reddit, very charged up.
Charged up, yeah.
Yeah.
And both ends of the spectrum.
Yeah. And I mean, we do have some thoughts because we feel we also want to talk about that whole experience, but we'll do it at the end of the episode under our One Shiok Thing, One Shiok Comment segment.
Yeah. Let's not distract from what the big topics we're talking about.
Yeah. So if you left a comment and you are curious, just hang on till the end of the episode. We will talk about it.
We will address it.
But yeah, in the meantime, before we start our topics, what's the regular spiel, Terrence?
If this podcast is of any value to you or your friends or whatever, please do follow, subscribe, click the notification bell, everything. I think that really helps the algorithm understand that you want to hear more of this podcast.
Yeah, and if you're watching on YouTube, literally the subscribe button is just there, right? Just subscribe now. Same thing on Spotify, very easy to hit subscribe. And if you want to work with us, just check us out at ministryofffunny.com. You can leave us a message, our email details are there. So yeah, if you email us, we will reply.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
Cool. Shall we jump right into that first big topic that we're talking about?
I mean, it's a topic that there was, it's been building up steam over the past few years and months. But why we're talking about it today is because the feedback on the latest next-gen ERP system has been quite negative. And we will get into it. At first, I know the past few years they've been talking about this a lot. It's basically the satellite-based pricing, right?
Not the pricing, just
satellite-based technology.
That one is incoming, right? Yeah. As in the distance-based ERP.
But that one they never confirm anything.
Yeah, that one is down the road.
They never confirm.
But now it's just literally replacing the hardware of the ERP system, right?
Yeah, because apparently it's come to its 25-year mark already for the ERP version 1. And the equipment is like kind of has degraded. So this ERP 2.0, I mean, for context, we don't have a car. I drive occasionally, like my wife's family car.
Yeah.
So I'm familiar with the current ERP, like, it's on the driver's side. But this one, I mean, the context is like for cars, there's 3 pieces: the antenna, the card holder, and the touchscreen.
Yeah.
And for motorbikes, there's 1 piece.
Yeah.
And for cars, is the OBU, the onboard unit. For motorists, is the OPU.
Yeah.
The 1-piece unit. I don't know whether they use OPU, but I mean, that's the acronym. So, like, for you, because you drive, right? Like, what has your knowledge of this been over the past few months? Like, was it just an inevitable thing that's coming?
Yeah, so I think that everyone's been gearing up for it, like, because there's a whole procedure to get your hardware replaced, right? And I think it's starting soon. And so we've been starting to get bombarded by the the news outlets giving us information and giving us instructions on how to change our units, the ERP units and all that, right?
Yeah.
I think people have been talking about it. And I think it was delayed during the pandemic, right? The rollout was delayed because of the global chip shortage.
Yeah.
But now it's ready to go. And people are now really starting to realize, like, hey, something off here, And plus, in the last 6 months, what has happened with the reversal of certain decisions by LTA with regards to bus routes and Simply Go. People are seeing this as the next big thing that, like, hey, was this really thought through and is it being implemented properly? Or are we just trying to force through one bad decision after another, right? So I think that's where it's an interesting point of the discussion. And I mean, it's to do with cars, which, doesn't affect the majority of the population, right? Because the number of people who drive and everything. But I think the idea is that the decision itself, even for non-car owners or everything, the decision kind of looks like wasn't really thought through properly. Right?
Yeah. And I guess what kickstarted the feedback coming now is on 28 March, the LTA gave an update saying that, from new vehicles registered from May 1st will be pre-fitted with the equipment. Owners of existing Singapore-registered vehicles such as cars and lorries will be informed progressively to make installation appointments from the second half of 2024.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, you will get a notification and then you have to book a slot.
Yeah.
And for cars, it apparently takes up to 3 hours. For motorcycles, 1 hour. And the installation is free for the first 2 months from the time you receive the notification. Then, since November 2023, about 13,000 vehicles have already been fitted. When installation exercise for equipment began with fleet vehicles. I guess fleet vehicles being buses and motorcycles. So then at first I was like, okay, how bad can it be? But then when you look at it, right, it's really damn weird.
Yeah.
And what are some of the things that stuck out to you?
There's a TikTok video that has gone quite viral of a guy who, is going through the process of trying to understand the system, the car.
Yeah.
And every step of the way, he just keeps saying, which champion thought of this?
So
I mean, the big things is the actual card needs to be inserted to the processing unit, which has to be apparently has to be installed below the dashboard. And they've demonstrated it being installed on the the passenger side of the dashboard, not on the driver's side. So that means the driver, in needing to insert the card, would need to reach his hand over to the passenger side below the dashboard to insert the card. Which throws out a lot of questions about safety, because a lot of times when people are scrambling to put an ERP card or change a card as they are about to undergo a gantry, it's already damn kanchong already as a driver, and because if you go in without your ERP card, or your ERP card doesn't have enough money, you get fined, right? So a lot of times, sometimes you see cars slowing down before the ERP gantry because someone's scrambling to put an ERP, change their card or something. So can you imagine, like, if the card unit is like underneath the dashboard on the side of the passenger, like, how many more potential accidents that might cause if people are scrambling to do it
And that's if it's just on the side of the central column. Because in examples, I think in that TikTok video, his was placed with the card reader facing towards the door. So he couldn't even see it. Then there was a video, I think, done by CNA where they installed it on a Mitsubishi
SUV.
The SUV. And it had to be closer to the door of the passenger. So already without a passenger, you have to stretch. Then with a passenger, it'll be a bit weird.
Right. I can foresee a lot of molest cases like suddenly being reported lah,
Yeah.
where a driver has to reach over to a passenger's legs to get the
Over
car.
and over again. Over and over again.
Inevitably.
So I mean, it just looks okay. Like when you look at the backstory of this, I think there were two companies that were awarded the contract by LTA, which was $560 million to develop the technology.
Yeah.
And one of the companies developed one of the apps that you can download that can replace the touchscreen.
Yeah.
So, I mean, functionality-wise, it shows you, school zones, silver zones, and feels like, okay, there's more that you can do, but it can also be done on the same app. So you can use your phone in place of the touchscreen.
Yeah.
Of course, there might be that Bluetooth connection and all that. But, I mean, on one hand, you see videos of like robots and AI and, satellites being launched and all.
Yeah.
And you see phones getting smaller and smaller.
Yeah.
But then you look at this, right? It really looks like it's from the fucking 90s or something.
Yeah. I would say 2000s.
2000s.
Yeah. When GPS devices were a thing.
Huge, correct. As the sole purpose of the device is for GPS.
Yeah, exactly. So, I think what you're talking about, that touch screen, they have said that it's optional.
Yeah.
But it's optional in the sense that you will lose certain functionality that comes with the unit, I believe. Like being able to see your balance and things like that, right?
I thought the apps are the ones that have more functions.
Correct, but the point is that you don't want to have to fire up an app while you're driving either, right?
Oh, yeah.
Or even trying to exit a car park and all these things.
Yeah.
So you lose the functionality if you don't install a touch screen. So as optional as they make it sound, I think if you're removing features, then that makes it like not really optional already, right?
Yeah.
So, and the touchscreen has to be, I mean, right now it's like mounted it has to be mounted like where the satellite unit is supposed to be.
Don't think.
Yeah, so it is in that corner where the cash card unit is right now. But I would say that's actually a very, to me, that area, they shouldn't cover the area.
But you never see their innovative tilt-down mechanic.
You can tilt down, yeah. I saw the CNN video and they're like, wow, you can tilt it down if you feel that it's distracting. I'm like, that's not the fucking point. The point that is such a big, and the fact that it's a screen, that it's at the end of the day, screens are meant to get your attention. They're bright and, everything. And it will get your attention somehow and distract you from the road.
You can't use it when you're driving?
Correct. But the moment there is something there is a screen.
School zone. Oh, yeah.
I think I just feel that screens in general will distract no matter what people say, right? And it's blocking, to me, a very key blind spot. And I say that as a quite a, I've driven in Singapore, but also in other countries and all that. And it's always, I feel that particular spot where the cash card unit is or now where the screen is going to be, it's always a spot that's very important when you're trying to navigate certain corners or you're trying to avoid running over a curb or, touch wood, even like if you're seeing a small animal or child passing by, that particular blind spot is actually important. And for them to just, cover it like that and expect people to drive the exact same way, I feel it's not a very good, wise decision. So, I mean, you spoke about the contract that the company was made, like have $500 million to implement these things. And this was done many, many years ago, right? Like,
yes.
you know when it was awarded?
Not off the top of my head and nothing in front of me, but I can pull it up in a bit. But, I mean, it also dealt with the, I guess, getting the satellite into space, which we now have.
Yeah.
And I mean, it feels like, okay, this one is like, when you're changing the hardware of anything, you want to future-proof it. Right?
Yeah.
So this one feels like, okay, they're future-proofing it. Even though like LTA and the government in general has been very ambiguous about whether or not we will move to satellite-based pricing. But it makes it...
Distance-based charging.
Distance-based charging.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it feels like, okay, it's definitely going to happen. Right? But I mean, even before we get to the broader things, there's certain questions. My first question was also like, the car has 3 pieces, but the motorcycle has 1 piece.
Yeah.
Why can't the motorcycle one be used in the car? And there's also an explanation, Terence. Are you aware of the reason?
Yeah, the LTA's own. They spend quite a bit of time making videos about it, right?
Yeah.
And what is it?
It is because the motorcycle version is made for outdoors. And the car version, if you just use that it cannot deal with the high temperatures that cars get lah.
Yeah.
And I think they had a video showing the temperature. It goes up to like 51 degrees.
Yeah.
So that's why they put the card reader in a more secure spot that's away from direct sun lah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then made me think like, oh, but then the rest of the car can deal with the heat.
Yeah, exactly.
The old IU could deal with the heat.
Yeah. Most cars have in-car cameras that
deal
can
with
deal
the
with
heat.
the heat. Yeah. And then now there's going to be a touch screen sitting up there on the dashboard
that can
also.
deal with the heat. The GPS antenna can deal with the heat.
Yeah.
So what is so delicate about this card reader that can't deal with the heat?
Yeah. Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. Yeah. And it comes to a point where like you're trying to cure one inconvenience or one deficiency of the system.
Yeah.
By moving it to another place where you're putting something that apparently is very sensitive to heat. You're putting it next to somebody's legs, right?
Yeah.
Where your legs can lean on it and end up like it could overheat with someone resting. Because the place where they've shown where you can install that card reader, I've realized is the exact same place that I lean my legs on when I'm sitting in a car.
Because they said you can put it on the driver's seat if it allows.
If it allows, yeah.
If it allows.
But I, as a slightly bigger person already, I already feel like there's very little leg room, right? And I can imagine on the passenger seat, maybe there's a bit more, but it's still a place where I can imagine someone would be resting their legs or what and sitting in a car. So it's just transferring the problem from one place to another. And it's not really solving the problem of why the processing unit is so sensitive to heat, right?
Yeah. So then, like, when you look at this, like, what do you think went wrong?
Yeah, I think
because they said they've been having a lot of feedback and all that, right?
To their credit, they've added because there's a touch screen there. What it allows them to do is to add buttons, right?
Yeah.
Buttons that, for example, like let's say you're going out ERP gantry at IKEA. Like IKEA is a very good example. IKEA always gives out those free parking coupons, right? That you have to open the roll down window and scan them.
Yeah.
But to do that, you're going to make sure you take out your cash card first, right? So that you don't get charged before you're able to scan your little free parking ticket. So in this case, they're going to implement a button where you can press the button such that it switches off your cash card, whatever, such that you can use your IKEA thing you can roll down window and use the traditional IKEA way of like scanning a free parking ticket without actually pulling out your cash card. Then when you're done with that, you can hit the button again to reactivate your cash card unit.
I see.
Yeah. So I think that's why I say the touchscreen being optional, I think that's it's not right to say that because if such important functionality is being built into a touchscreen, you can't make it optional, right? You can't make it optional because then people have very, very different experiences with the unit and it's just incomplete and it's not the proper functioning way of using this product, right? So, they are trying to use technology to solve certain pain points that people are pointing out already, but it's still, then it begs the question, why these things were not thought of in the first place, right? Given the amount of money and time that's been invested into this.
But then they put the choice in your hands. Terrence, you want this functionality, you put a touchscreen. It's up to you because we're all about giving power to the people.
Correct.
Yeah, so you cannot complain.
Yeah. But it's like simply go like that, right?
Yeah.
Where they're saying like, how is this new system better than what is currently in place, right? Why is it that we are pushing this through even though we are losing certain features and functionality? Shouldn't technology be bringing us forward rather than bring us backwards and having to, find workarounds like this that are so not elegant also, right?
Yeah. And I mean, I don't think the case of like cash card theft in Singapore where people break windscreens is that high also, right?
Less, right? Definitely less over time, yeah.
Less over time, right? So, and like going back to the contract, right? So there's one article in 2016 I found. So NCS and MHI Engine System, they clinched a deal worth 556 million that was awarded by LTA. And back then it said, to develop a new system which will have island-wide coverage and the ability to charge for distance travel. So the ability is there. And then the one thing is that the bid that won, right, was less than half of what was proposed by the other qualified builder,
Oh, really?
ST Electronics.
Oh, okay.
Their cost was 1.2 billion.
Oh, I see. And this one was 560.
556.
Ooh,
So maybe they're like, okay, we can have a much smaller thing,
yeah,
but it'll cost 600 million more.
yeah.
Let's go with this, thing that looks like out from early 2000s.
Yeah.
Because retro's coming back in, right?
Yeah.
Let's use retro for this also.
Yeah.
And that they got the bid lah.
Mm.
So, I mean, it's a huge fucking bid.
Yeah.
2016, so it's been being developed since there lah.
Yeah.
But even 2016, the technology back then.
Yeah. I think you should have already seen like touch screens on phones and everything.
Smartphones were there already, right?
Yeah, and Teslas were already essentially Teslas like barely have any buttons, right? They're very minimalist. It's really almost like having an iPad as your dashboard, right?
Yeah.
It was already there already in 2016 and all.
But maybe the defense would be that is part of the circuitry of the car. We need to think of the lowest common denominator that can be installed on every car.
Yeah. No, I think my point was just that, that they should have seen their future coming where everything is generally smaller, more minimalist, and less obtrusive than even what we have today, the ERP card system. Right?
But back then, already there was that trend, right? I mean, camcorders last time with videotapes, and then fast forward, the digital cameras getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Yeah. But also, it makes you think, whenever you see the CCTV footage, the same question comes up, right? With the technology on a phone where you can zoom in 50 times.
Yeah.
Security camera is still very grainy. Yeah. It's still fucking big.
Yeah.
So what is going on there?
Yeah.
And it might just be the thing, of course, purely speculation, that once you're locked into this kind of contracts, which are hundreds of millions of dollars, it's tough to shift.
Yeah. But you asked the good question that even in 2015, 2016, you need to think of how to future-proof your product, right?
Yeah.
And that's the part that I didn't understand. Along the design or technology process, didn't someone foresee how having a big touchscreen like this would just look really archaic, right? Compared to what we are used to today, right?
Yeah.
Unless someone was going for they're betting on the now how retro is all coming back, retro tech, right?
Yeah,
Vinyls and even people starting to use big camcorders again as opposed to the mirrorless. So maybe they're going back in that direction. They're betting on people wanting retro
bigger,
technology.
Wanting bigger. I can see, you can see it.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe in a year's time, we'll be like, oh, I love the touchscreen, the new touchscreen.
But I mean, the touchscreen is the smaller issue, right? The bigger issue is the card reader.
Yeah.
Because touchscreen, I can still see some people being okay with it.
Impossible.
Right. Yeah. Because and the touchscreen, it has to be there where it can be even put in the center or something.
I don't think it can be put in the center for now.
For now.
Because it comes with a satellite unit, which is where everything's placed. I think circuitry and everything has to be on that right side. But I mean, because don't forget that you have that touchscreen, even if it gives you a map or whatever, will it be better than Google Maps or whatever you use, like Waze or any of these other Apple Maps? Will it be better than those apps that you can actually just download for free already, right?
Yeah.
Because I think most people already have their phones on their dashboard, right? To help them using maps and all. So now you got so many different screens going on. You start to feel like your car is how in taxis they also have a lot of different screens and everything. Yeah. It starts to get very distracting, right? So I'm very surprised that they didn't think about how to minimize the number of screens that you have to look at.
Because just thinking unless there's some sophisticated technology on the thing that we don't understand, because even AirTags, right? I mean, they are geolocated, right?
Yeah.
They have the GPS tracking function. I think you can even track, even an Apple Watch, you can track distance and all that, right?
Sure, yeah.
So it just feels like that GPS module that you stick to the screen is not small, right?
Yeah.
What the fuck is inside? I can imagine they did say that there's a lot of security technology that's been built in to prevent, because there's payments and all, right? Yep. One question I think people were asking is if everything can be done on an app, then why can't this whole distance-based thing just be done on an app? Right? Then security was a thing.
Privacy,
security, and all that became a thing. But even with this, you don't know about the privacy. Right?
Yeah. No, I mean, you are going to be, with distance-based charging, your movements will be tracked. There's no getting around it.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's not even an option to turn around and not implement this really. They have to, right? Because there seems to be I hope there is a longer term roadmap that they are planning for all this.
Yeah.
But yeah, it seems like you can't get around it because they need to be able to track you like very accurately, down to the meter, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, AirTags is a good example, but AirTags is not very precise.
Yeah,
AirTags, at the end of the day, it's still a general area of like maybe 50, 100 meters.
Maybe this one is like damn precise.
Yeah. Maybe. Like every inch or every something you move, they know that, oh, you moved, you got to pay.
Or maybe they're taking the Apple approach. The first iPhone, it was bulky, But now we're at iPhone 15 over the course of like 15 years.
Yeah.
And it's damn slick. So maybe ERP 2.0 is you're taking that approach, you just haven't communicated it yet.
But then that will have your whole other exercise of like reinstalling a 3.0 or 2.5 or whatever. Because don't forget, it's kind of like you can upgrade your phone every year. You might not feel the difference as much, but you rarely hear of people who upgrade like the televisions every year because just the hassle of installing and taking it down and then after having to rejig your furniture and all that. I think people make purchases like those home appliance purchases a lot less frequently than they do about changing phones and small gadgets, right? I think it's the same for this ERP thing. It's not something that you can conceivably change every year. It's a generational change. Like every 10, 20 years, maybe you change.
So you think in 2018, 2019, the people on the project were like, oh, fuck, this looks so ugly. This looks terrible. We're going to get flamed when it comes out.
They're probably thinking of the marketing budget, how to pump more money into marketing to convince people to just suck it up.
Or maybe they just left. They're like,
they won the contract. The sales team won the contract now.
They're like, all right,
everyone else.
Peace out.
Everyone
because
just
it just looks like it's so ugly, so unfunctional. And I mean, even when you look at the bare statistics of safety, right? Reaching across. I mean, even when I drive also, sometimes the last minute you're like, fuck, this card don't have. Oh shit. One thing they did say that if you do miss a charge, you can hook up a back-end payment. That means you deducted from your credit card or debit card. Then I'm like, what?
Why just do that from the start? Yeah, exactly. Now the solution
is... Why can't it be the start?
Yeah, and then now they're like, oh, if you need to use a cash card at an older gantry or something, that doesn't do
you have to take out.
Yeah, you have to take out the card. So they're going to get around that problem by Nets. Nets is going to give like all motorists another free card to use.
Okay.
So like,
redundancy.
We'll fix the problem by giving you one more card, so don't complain, okay?
So because they don't expect people to take it out and
to reach over to your passenger's side and then like put your hand between your passenger's legs and then after like try and pull out the card.
I mean,
it could cause a lot of issues.
When I've driven overseas, I can't remember what their charging thing is, but reading online, they say Australia is like a small device kind of thing.
Yeah.
Of course, got pros and cons. But the size of this device is, I mean, you look at the card reader, it's like got like some like crisscross like frame that is slotted in also.
Yeah.
It just feels damn weird.
It is weird. It is weird. And I mean, if Singaporeans didn't have experience driving overseas and coming back with stories of what the systems are there, then not so bad. But we've all like had some chance of like, whether it's even Malaysia or other nearby countries, right? To drive there and see what traffic is like. And there are better systems, more convenient systems out there.
Wow, crazy here.
But that's why I'm interested to see what happens. Because Simply Go was
U-turn.
It was really a U-turn, right? So will they stay the course for this one? That's the big
closing
question.
of the bus routes also, they U-turn a bit.
Yeah.
So this one, I don't know. I mean, I'm guessing a big part of the budget was sending the satellite into space.
I'm sure, yeah. Actually, I don't know whether that was part of that particular budget, right?
Fuck, man.
Yeah, I don't know. So it could have been even more costly, but yeah, I'm sure there was someone. I really hope that there's someone who can explain the technical reason why you need this unit in three pieces. Because I think the whole heat thing is nobody buys it, right?
Yeah,
it just feels like you're taking technology. Is your technology from the 70s or 80s, right?
Because one thing they say in the video, imagine leaving your phone on the dashboard. Yeah, it does get hot.
It does get hot.
Yeah, it does slow down. But the phone is not meant to tahan that.
Yeah.
But the whole of the car is meant to tahan
heat. Yeah.
Inside and outside.
Yeah.
All the dashboard, all the stuff. There's inbuilt computers in the car. And I don't think they put it in the hood.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know where exactly they're located, but this one feels a bit.
Yeah. And there are ways to deal with heat, like, onboard fans and stuff like that.
And you literally have two components that are in the sun.
Yeah, exactly.
So, no idea, man.
Doesn't make sense.
doesn't make sense.
It just feels like someone's just trying very hard to cover up for some, not say cover up, but trying to justify something that isn't really justifiable.
And I'm sure a lot of people have this experience. I know in my first job, I was like involved in like the revamp of the company website. I won't say which company, but if you've been listening, you can tell. And it was such a painful process. And the end website when we launched, it was horrible. So along the way, everybody could see it. Everybody could see, oh my God, this is terrible. But somehow it continues because it's almost too big to change course. Then you're like, okay, let's prepare for the worst. Because you know it's coming, but you can't change it.
I mean, the analogy is a tough one because of everything that's happening recently. But it's like a car crash that you can see in slow motion. It's about to happen, right? There's going to be something's going to happen because somebody was trying to fix their cart or something while driving, right? And then there's going to be uproar and everything, and then LTA has to step in and make a statement and things like that. But if you already know that that's going to happen, what can you do now to rectify it, right?
And then even for rideshare drivers, right? Like be it molest or whatever, like that's just one extreme. But for a passenger sitting in the passenger seat, it's just it feels like anytime you might need to help.
Maybe now then the next function that they will add is there will be a camera on the touchscreen that films backwards to make sure that, in case you get accused of molest, the camera will be filming and then can say, hey, no, we never molest, So that's the new function that they can add with
I saw already someone pointed out a few years down the road, the next function will be every car will have a vehicle commander who will sleep in the car.
And help you change cash card when you need.
Help you change cash card, help you do everything,
Sergeant, wake up. Help me get this cash card. Okay, slow down.
You just need to give up one seat.
Working army, this crazy. Is what the army is. These are kind of the ways the army would solve the problem.
Just throw more things at it.
throw more well-paid NSFs at it.
I mean, even in the US, right, like the solution to gun problems is not just get rid of the guns.
Give everyone a gun.
Give everyone a gun, put more security in place, put security guards at the school. Chala.
But interesting. Let's see. What's the name of our transport minister now?
Tan Kiat Hao.
No. He just took over Iswaran. I was going to say, why am I thinking of that? That person Ng Chee Ming, but it's not Ng Chee Ming.
Chee Hong Tat.
Yes.
Chee Hong Tat.
He was there when the Simply Go thing turned around. Let's see what he's going to do now.
This also would have been under Iswaran, right?
I guess the implementation and everything.
Chee Hong Tat, one after another.
One roadblock after another. But speaking of having to battle a lot of negative PR about things, there's another agency, or not agency, another institution that is having a war of words, right? Negative PR with its fellow partner in the tripartite system. And what is this? What is this institution?
It is the current tense situation between the Security Workers Union and the Union of Security Employees. And at the core of it is a video that was done by SGAG in partnership with the USC, the Union of Security Employees. So the video, I mean, overall, it's a comedy skit. And it shows like two security guards being briefed by their superior. And them asking just very...
don't know whether superior. It could be like the condo manager or something.
Yeah. But they were just asking like stupid questions. Like, can we just shoot people? And then the person says, oh, then you don't have a gun. Then also, how do we get a gun? And stuff like that. About like going for toilet breaks on the job. So it was done in that fashion, but it was commissioned. It was commissioned. It was a second video, apparently, that was commissioned by Union of Security Employees. But the Security Association Singapore put out a Facebook post, kind of like condemning the video based on feedback from their members. And they said they're disappointed with the video. They don't like how it portrayed security officers as buffoons. and then like that the superior or colleague or condo manager is shouting and abusing the security officers. They don't approve of phrases like employers tekan officers, and that like while it's good to bring light to bad employment practices, it is not the correct way to convey such important and serious messages. And yeah, so then the USC came back saying that this is the second video they've done similar to the first, so not so sure why they are making so much noise now. And that some of the things spoken about in the video probably struck a nerve with the association's members. That's why they are pissed off. So, I mean, at first when I saw this, I thought like generally people were unhappy with the video done by SGAG. But it's one organization that is unhappy and the other organization saying, why you unhappy?
And to clarify, correct me if I'm wrong, the SAS, the Securities
Association
of Singapore, if off the top of my, I mean, just reading from what I'm seeing is that it represents security companies as an association, right? So it's basically the an industry group, right? Whereas the union of security employees is more the representative for the security people who are employed by these companies, right? So you would imagine that especially in Singapore's case, that they would have a close working relationship, and that some of these things would be settled under, behind closed doors, as opposed to out in the open with media releases and very, very passive aggressive tone, very passive aggressive remarks to each other, right? But no, they're out there in the open, and the SGAG video has become, the buffoonery of the SGAG video has become a big talking point of this whole thing, But so when you saw the SGAG video, like what do you think of it?
I mean, it's the kind of videos that I know they produce. And I mean, the context is we did a video way back about the plight of security officers in Singapore also. Right. So, and for people who are listening to the podcast and don't know who we were in our first lives as content creators, we made YouTube videos and short form videos. So when I saw the video, I'm like, it's that kind of video. It's very slapstick. And I mean, I didn't find it funny, but a lot of people seems like they did. So is it a video that I would ever imagine us making? I don't think so. And not to say that, we are above that. It's just a different style.
I mean, it appeals to its audience, right? I mean, the kind of jokes are very slapsticky jokes. I'm not saying that they're bad, just slapstick, right? Like things like, where to draw a gun, then literally the security officer is sketching out a gun, right? That kind of thing. So not exactly thought-provoking or what, but it's trying to get across the message that security employees have places to reach out to in case they have disputes with their employers and things like that. But I mean, in that sense, would you agree that the security officers were portrayed as buffoons, as SAS has laid out?
Kind of,
Kind of.
I would say. I mean, that's why I found it funny. Like the union was the one who commissioned and greenlit it,
But maybe, but it's comedy, Arish. Like it's comedy. It's just a caricature, a comedic caricature of certain people at the workplace, right? Like, I mean, I'm saying, like, let's say if you are a security employee, I'm sure there are some people at work that kind of these people remind you of, right? When you watch a comedy like The Office, it's not saying that all the people in the office act like like idiots, like how they do in the show, right? But it's saying that there are certain people at the workplace who are like that, right? So what's wrong with that?
So I mean, but then it becomes a thing like, if you're joking amongst each other and all, is different compared to like a union kind of commissioning this and approving it. Because ultimately every video that you put out commission, it says something about you.
And what you think.
Think. So that's why if it was SK just doing this video without commission, then I'm like, okay, that's their take on it. But you look at it, you're like, I mean, they do portray the security officers as like idiots. So, not to say they are wrong to make that video. Just like how someone makes a video, say, portraying people of a certain ethnicity or gender as a certain one. It might be jokes that friends share amongst themselves, but to put it out, I think it's like a statement.
Yeah.
But for you?
No, I mean, we have that we're in that position of we've made a video about these issues before. And I think if you watch the video, we very specifically crafted it as something kind of like lighthearted and silly in the first place, right? But later, the second half of the video actually transitions to a much more serious discussion about the difficulties or problems that security employees face, right? And what they can do to make or at least how we can help to improve public perception of security employees. So that video was made, 2016 or 2017 or something?
You can give context of what the video involves.
Yes, so our video was essentially, we got a person dressed up as a security officer to stand in the CBD for extended period, like an hour, and to see if anybody cared or noticed him. And then on the flip side, we got that same person to dress up as not a security officer, but as a Queen's Guard, right, from the UK and everything, to stand in the CBD and see what kind of reception that he would receive. And because he was dressed up in the uniform and everything, people actually went up to him and took photos with him. Don't even know why he's standing still there, but people actually cared, right?
Yeah.
I think the bigger point we're trying to make is that a lot of people they do similar job functions to what you see these guards and all do, which is, they keep us safe, they help us make sure that there's always a watchful eye over our key installations and all that. But nobody gives a rat's ass about their plight, right? The plight of these workers, or celebrates them in any way.
Yeah.
So of course it's not, what we're doing is just trying to make it visually appealing and interesting and quite funny, I felt. But I think the larger message was that, these security employees have certain problems that they're facing in their industry, and let's just try and get more attention on it, get people talking about it.
Yeah. We did end off with a bit of a twist.
We did, yeah.
You go and see the video.
You go watch the video.
Go and watch the video. We'll put the link in the show notes. Yeah.
But so essentially I feel like that was a problem 7-8 years ago that we were already making videos about that, right? The fact that now that the SAS and all has such a big response to it, feels like it's still a problem, right? The perception of security employees as competent in their roles and everything is still a problem. So it becomes an issue. Yeah, I agree with you. It becomes an issue when when a commissioned video about security employees ends up almost reinforcing certain stereotypes that people have had all these years about security people being incompetent and being buffoons, right? It just feels very why would you say that about your own people that you're trying to represent, right?
Yeah, maybe it's one of those things that, because even on their Facebook pages, right? USC is an affiliate of the National Trades Union Congress, representing all persons who are employed, and so on. And SAS is the lead trade association in the security industry in Singapore. We work closely with government agencies, fellow associations. So just reading it, it does feel like SAS is kind of like the industry rep.
Yeah.
Whereas what you say, the USC, it's just by the individuals, probably run by unions, It's probably people who have that same role who take on leadership roles. So you think it's maybe the case of how, let's say we use something that is even more charged up, let's say race, right?
Yeah.
And you know how sometimes within a certain race, you think it's okay to make fun of your own race.
I see what you're saying.
But when it becomes you're putting it out there as a statement, some people within your race might not feel comfortable with that.
Yeah.
But in general, some people are.
Yeah.
And if they are the ones in power, they feel, hey, it's okay. Why don't you complain? This is who we are. And then that becomes a thing. Feels like this could be the case there.
It could be the case. Maybe the people, you also don't want to sound so woke and speaking on behalf of security employees, right? Especially you and me, we're not close to the industry at all, right?
Yeah.
Maybe they all unanimously
found it damn funny,
great, right?
Funny, yeah.
But if the security, association and everything is finding it problematic, then I think it's worth discussing that. Well, have you really checked with all your stakeholders, right? Because I can't imagine the two of them not talking to each other, the SAS and the USE. Just sounds like it sounds like everyone is caught in the crossfire in this quarrel between husband and wife, right?
Yeah, and
A little
SGAG,
bit.
SGAG just tried to do something funny, and you're like, well, we didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah. What you say? What you say? What you say about me? Not happy, is it?
That's why.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm looking at the USC team and all. I mean, like, I don't know. Are they kind of like people who have worked in? They don't say.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like, it just feels. I mean, they look like a legit organization also.
Yeah.
So it just feels weird. And I mean, SAS put out the thing. Then USC responded. Then SAS put out a response to their response, disagreeing with their response. So it just feels when I saw this, I was like, oh shit, like probably a small thing. Like initially, I didn't even want to talk about this.
Yeah.
But then
you
when
thought
you
it was
think
just
of it-
someone making noise about the video, right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, lah. I think even some people on the Facebook page are pointing out why like the video really is not good. I think one thing in the video said that you get high salary and work less hour compared to last time. And last time employer tekan security officers. So you are lucky now because you get 2,650 because of the PWM implementation, which is the progressive wage model thing.
Yeah.
So in some way also, but that's why the USC kind of responded saying that believe that the complaint about a video is a red herring.
Yeah.
USC puts out content in various forms and have collaborated with different content creators before.
Yeah.
So it feels like it might be that analogy of like that whole race thing lah. Where you're like, hey, it's okay lah, we're like this, It's better that old school way of thinking lah.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoyed reading the war of words they're having lah, because they use like buffoons, tomfoolery, red herring.
Queen's English.
Yeah. So yeah, they're actually spending a lot of time crafting either that or ChatGPT is hard work lah for both of them. But yeah, it just it was pretty funny lah, like just seeing all this. And yeah, it's just SGAG is just doing SGAG things lah, right?
Yeah, they're doing SGAG things.
But they're being caught in the fire between these two organizations now lah.
They had to give a statement also, no?
SGAG.
Yeah.
they have a statement.
I think today reached out to them.
Okay.
And SGAG said, they reached out for comment. Today reached out, but there was no response yet lah.
SGAG hasn't taken down the video lah.
They haven't taken out. I mean, if anything, it's getting them relevance lah,
Yeah.
So it's just funny lah. And it doesn't seem like it's going to end because the latest USC post is only 16 hours ago.
Yeah. Someone
night,
woke up this morning and then they're probably crafting it now as we speak.
Yeah, so now SAS is it's like getting in the last word before Friday ends. They're like, hey, hurry up.
Before the news cycle dies.
The news cycle dies. Walao.
Funny.
Funny lah.
But
yeah, man.
And we slightly lighthearted note, but again, we did mention earlier that we want to address the topic of like the response that has come so far for our interview with Hanan from the West Bank in Palestine. Because there have been a lot of strong comments, right? Strong. Whatever when I say strong, I mean very charged comments from people, right, on both sides. And so we thought we'd take this segment, usually is our one Shiok comment segment, to just talk in general about the comments and everything, right? And what's your take on everything so far?
So I mean, like, I think it was a long-time Redditor, Jungle Jimbo, who also said that, he referenced another podcast where they kind of do unpackings of like maybe more polarizing interviews they do.
The rest is politics.
The rest is politics.
Good
so I mean, the context, I know some people pointed out that, we have done so many episodes on this. I think people have counted apparently 8 episodes. If you include episodes where we talk about news related to this conflict, as well as getting on people like Shanmugam, Minister Shanmugam to come on. The reason why we wanted to get this person on is that we've been trying for a while to get someone on the ground who can share their perspective. And I mean, is it too many episodes? I don't know. I think we will always try to find out more info about a thing that we find needs to be talked about more.
Yeah.
So I can't even guarantee you this will be the last episode we do about it.
Yeah.
But that's one thing. And then the other thing was I think people were pointing out that, it is a horrible choice of guests. How can you get someone with skin in the game? Why not get I think there was one comment that said, why not get a political scientist or a historian on? But that was the main reason why we got this guest on, to talk to someone on the ground.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like on both sides, there were also comments kind of supporting what we tried to do. Some people said they decided to unsubscribe already. and some people who are maybe a bit more thoughtful in their feedback lah.
Yeah.
So I mean we can unpack, but like for you, like what? Oh, and we also did change the title.
Yes. I
thumbnail.
think because we
Yeah.
I think we were debating a little bit, and then we saw feedback as well, like people saying that even the people who enjoyed, or at least like thought it was a good decision to do the interview and all.
Yeah.
They felt like the title maybe was too clickbaity lah.
Yeah.
That it kind of set the tone for the interview up front lah, right? Without and doesn't allow people to come to their own decisions about things. To that, it's kind of like it actually was a quote that she said, right?
Yeah.
So we weren't really misrepresenting her ideas or what. It was something she said. But I did see the point that yes, that maybe it just is so incendiary that people come in with they don't even want to experience the podcast because they have that mindset that this person is biased already, which we were seeing comments, people just calling her biased and say they couldn't get through an interview and everything.
Yeah.
So I think that's where we made a decision to actually use another quote that maybe it didn't immediately paint her or the podcast in a certain way.
Yeah.
And that was also based off feedback that we were receiving from people.
Yeah, because we changed it a day later.
Yeah.
So if you go to Reddit, it still shows the original title. But on YouTube, and if you share it now, there's an update to the title and the thumbnail.
Yeah.
I think just to build on what Terence was saying, it's more that, okay, the reason why we call our podcast Yala, but the why we try to talk about different angles is because it's important to be open-minded, and we try to be, but with that title, it really kind of paints the whole discussion one way.
Yeah.
Right now, even now, the title, it's not the easiest to talk through, but it feels like, okay, it's a broader statement, and hopefully people give the episode a chance.
Yeah.
Were there like looking at the comments and the feedback, like, has your thoughts about how we did the interview and whatnot evolved or anything?
No, and I feel that if people want to unsubscribe or not listen to it, that's fine. That's their choice, right? And ultimately, on this podcast, with all the episodes that we've done, what we try to do is to keep an open mind as we come to the precipice of like so-called dangerous ideas, right? And you look over the edge, you talk through it, but you can always step back away from it, right? So to listen to someone talk about their experience, I think what we're trying to do, we don't want to belittle or tell them that their lived experience doesn't matter, right? We can listen to it, we can disagree with it, but the idea is that we still talk to each other as human beings, right? So if there are things that she says that you don't agree with or that you feel dangerous, okay, there are forums to like Reddit and all that we've opened up to people to also leave their comments, right? And to talk to each other even if you feel differently about something. And if you feel like, this kind of content is not what you want to do because you feel it's dangerous or that, by all means, unsubscribe. Go and report it or whatever to Reddit saying that it's which someone did, right? Saying that it's violence and everything. But to me, it's like, at the end of the day, what we're trying to do is to just get more perspectives on this, and we have reached out to people. There's no saying that. We haven't revealed like who we've exactly reached out to, but it's not just a few people, right? We've reached out quite a number of different people from different sides, right, about everything, and
not everyone has said yes.
Yeah, not everyone wants to talk about it. As much as you think that, why not? Because it's a platform and blah blah. It's a very touchy issue, right? That a lot of people don't want to talk about it. So I have always gone out there and said I think when Mr. Shanmugam came on to talk about it, I actually said that it's quite a brave decision on his part now. Like political points to score from it. That actually there's not a lot I feel especially in this issue with regards to in Singapore and everything. But if he felt like he needed to go out there and say something, then I respect him for that, right? Yeah. Same with Hanan as well. You might not agree with her. I also don't agree with her on certain things and all. But she's willing to put herself out there, and she has. And the more important thing is that she has links or ties to Singapore, right?
Mm.
She understands our way of life here, or at least she has experienced a little bit of a way of life here, and understands how Singaporeans maybe live and work and think a little bit better than people elsewhere.
Yeah.
So I thought she might be able to give a better context of how a Palestinian on the ground is thinking about things, right?
Mm.
And so I think it was still very valuable to listen to her experience, whether or not you agree with it.
Yeah.
And I do hope that people who even if you disagree with it, you give it a chance, and if you don't like to listen to it, move on to the next one, right?
Yeah, and if you feel strongly about us and all that, you can leave feedback. I think someone in Reddit said they hope the thread is not locked. No, we won't. We won't lock the YouTube comment thread. We won't lock the Reddit thread. And I mean, even if you ask me, did we do the best possible interview? I would say no, but I would say that everything about what we do. Is this the best possible podcast we did? No, but the most important thing is that we keep getting better.
Yeah.
Right. And we're not going to stop interviewing people like this. And with everything that everyone does, it can get better.
Yeah.
We want to continue inviting people on, people who might have unpopular opinions, people who have varied opinions or varied perspectives. And we ourselves want to get even better at doing what we do. And as long as we keep doing that, to me, that is important.
Yeah.
So I mean, to the people who commented saying they appreciated it, we appreciate that as well. To even people who left comments saying how much of a mouthpiece and how we are just useless hosts, I still appreciate it. Like people take the time to leave a comment, and we figured we would better to respond on the podcast as opposed to typing it out.
Yeah, for sure.
Because if it's typing out, then it just becomes like a ping pong kind of thing. So even what we're saying now, if you have any thoughts, just put it down on the Reddit thread, Instagram, email, YouTube. Yeah.
But one comment did say that, maybe certain interviews we should skip having a one Shiok thing, because it doesn't suit the tone of it. What do you think of that?
I mean, it was difficult, that episode. If you go and listen, I remember, I was thinking, oh shit, how are we gonna navigate? So, I mean, I don't know. I'm open to it. But must be a good reason, because ultimately it is still our show, our format.
Yeah. No, I think that the reason that segment exists is to ultimately, remind people that we're all humans talking to humans, right? And we all have our varied interests and different things. And in some way, it's a peek into someone's mind, right? The fact that even when, a minister comes on and talks about a very serious topic, but at the end of the day, talks about the fact that he can enjoy a movie like Shanmugam enjoyed The Three Musketeers or that. It kind of okay, you understand this is also a human being, right? So I actually don't see it as a bad thing that, we do end with something more lighthearted, because if that allows you to step away from the topic and realize that, hey, you are talking to a human who has needs and wants and also interested in different things, and multifaceted human being as we all are, right? I'm not just like pro-Palestinian or pro-Israeli or anything like that. I think that's important.
I think it's equally important to make sure that there's still a segue into it. I think that's because we never want to reach a point where we cut and then we cut to another segment further down the conversation, where we go through that transition. Sometimes can be a bit tricky. It's like, when you meet a friend and they tell you something that's very emotional, you don't immediately tell them a joke, but doesn't mean you can't tell a joke. You just need to find a way to transition to it.
Correct. So we work within the constraints of logistics also, person's time and everything. So it is, I would still say, I do look forward to hearing
what they say.
Everyone's one Shiok thing, regardless of it, just to understand, just to know them better as a person.
But I mean, it's been interesting reading the comments.
No, keep them coming. And if you're still listening, good on you. Thank you for being open-minded about things.
So what about the one Shiok thing, man?
My one Shiok thing is actually it's a pretty interesting video from MHA Singapore. that I actually watched it just for some reason, but it came up on my feed, and it's actually about a very disturbing topic. It was about 3 weeks ago. MHA Singapore released a video about the officers who investigate child sexual abuse materials, CSAM.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so there's a term for it. It's called CSAM, right? And they speak to an officer her job is literally to go and catch offenders, based on their search histories and stuff like that. But after that, they actually have to go through this child sexual abuse material and catalog it and determine whether it really is child sexual abuse material.
Oh shit.
So I think what's interesting is that you see the inner workings of like how psychologically it can affect people who work on such disturbing materials. But they talk about ways in which they try to mitigate it, whether it's counselors or creating a work environment that gives them space and time to rest. Of course, this is by the MHA Singapore itself, so it's not, you can't say it's 100% objective or what, right? But you can see how, I think they're trying to emphasize that it's a very difficult job, and they're trying their best to help the officers process it. And they even go into they talk about internationally how the Interpol and other security agencies work together to identify child sexual abuse materials, and they share information to help each other without having, in some ways also helping to make sure that you don't have to watch everything all over again if it's already been identified as sexual abuse material. So I mean, I don't know why. I mean, it's not exactly a one-shook thing, but I think I learned a lot about the system.
How long is the video?
It's about 9 minutes long. So it's it features one officer who does this job, and it shows them on the job, literally going to someone's house and searching through their computers and all that also. So it's actually I think it's a very illuminating video. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
But yeah, okay. There's not so Shiok a thing, but I mean,
it's more an eye-opening
video that I think is worth watching. Yeah.
Wow. My one Shiok thing is I don't know whether this has been my one Shiok thing before, but I just happened to see it on TikTok again. It is called the TikTok account is hubs.life. And basically, you see a lot of videos about a day in the life of, right? And they all have fancy, glamorous jobs and all that. So this account, started by this one guy, is just dedicated to a day in the life of a 28-year-old with a 9-to-5 job.
Okay.
And he just shows the most mundane thing. He wakes up, prepares breakfast, puts his laptop in his bag, goes to work. For lunch, comes home, plays with his dog, goes back to work. Then he's back home at 5. And it's not done to be comedic or satirical or anything, no.
It really is just his life.
I mean, I don't know. There might be like some dark satire there.
Yeah.
But it's his life. And I mean, looking at the comments, I think people are enjoying it and just appreciating the fact that, okay, it's a break from everything you see on social media.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm seeing he's got all this get ready with me.
Yeah.
Middle class morning routine with a 9-to-5 job.
Yeah. So I don't know whether he's taking the piss out of it, but I actually found it quite refreshing. Because sometimes you see, everybody's trying to one-up day in the life. And there's all this humble brag. It's just my day in the life as a content creator in New York, and then starts off with running to the Statue of Liberty and shit like that.
Yeah. But he's got a lot of followers already.
Yeah, he got a lot.
Probably, and he's got it seems to be managed by a talent agency also.
Yeah, so it might just be his thing.
Yeah.
But it works
Yeah.
And whether it's he doesn't actually live like that, I don't know. I just thought, interesting
Interesting.
Yeah, interesting. Because you see more and more cases. I mean, in Singapore, recently got some guy with a knife who fell down 15 stories, and some lady who poured hot cocoa on this stuff. People are stressed.
Yeah, but also more people working from home, at least trying to work from home more, right? So, I mean, there was
an article in Business Times that came out a few years ago talking about burnout in Singapore.
Yeah.
I just found it interesting that they're focusing on Singapore with burnout.
Yeah.
So yeah, man.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
Cool, man. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah, it's another 3 podcasts this week. It's part of the public holiday.
Yeah. And remember, follow us on social media and reach out through contact. Go to ministryoffunny.com if you want to talk to us or talk about working with us or doing anything with us.
Yep.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody.